Softness begins here, in the quiet space where the day starts to loosen its hold. Nothing needs to be fixed or changed. Nothing needs to be accomplished. Just a gentle settling, a slow easing into stillness. You can let the pace of everything around you fall away for a moment. The world continues on its own, but here you are allowed to slow down. Let this be a place where tension melts and the breath finds a calmer rhythm without being forced. The body knows how to rest. It remembers the way back to ease. As you arrive here, allow yourself to meet this moment just as it is, without pressure or expectation. Simply let the softness unfold. Take a slow inhale without trying to make it deep or perfect. Then let the exhale flow out in its own time. A natural rhythm, a gentle return. Feel how the breath moves without effort, cooler as it enters, warmer as it leaves. Notice the quiet shift in the chest, in the ribs, in the belly. These small movements are enough. If the mind feels busy, that's all right. It often carries the momentum of the day, and it takes time to slow. Here, even the busiest thoughts can soften at the edges. They can drift a little farther away with each easy breath. Let the shoulders rest a little deeper into whatever supports them. Let the jaw grow softer, the brows smoother. With each breath, the body becomes a little heavier, a little more grounded. There's nothing to hold up, nothing to brace. Imagine the space around you widening, giving you room to settle. A quiet, open place where nothing presses in. Just softness and the gentle sound of your own breathing. Each inhale opening the space, each exhale settling into it. If you notice any tightness, simply breathe near it. Not to push it away, but to make room for it to loosen if it wishes. Sometimes it softens right away. Sometimes it softens slowly. Either way is fine. The breath continues its quiet rhythm. In and out. A slow, steady tide. Calm, gentle, unhurried. As the breath steadies, the body follows. As the body softens, the mind follows. Everything moves together in a smooth, natural way. Nothing is rushed. You might begin to feel the weight of the day slipping off your shoulders. You might sense a warm heaviness spreading through the arms and legs. The kind that makes it easier to be still. The kind that feels like settling into a safe, quiet place. Here, the air feels warm and soft around you. The silence feels deeper, almost like a cushion. The breath creates its own rhythm, slow and steady, carrying you gently inward. Allow yourself to sink a little more into that inner quiet. Not all at once, just a gradual softening, like dusk gently shifting toward night. A peaceful transition, steady and safe. Notice how the breath begins to feel smoother, how the inhale rises softly, and how the exhale releases even more softly. The body follows this flow, trusting it without effort. Your thoughts may still come and go. Let them drift the way leaves float on still water. They don't need to be pushed away or gathered. They can simply move on their own without holding your attention. Each breath brings you a little deeper into stillness. Each exhale carries a small sense of release, a steady unwinding, a quiet returning. Feel the warmth spreading behind the eyes, across the forehead, down the neck. Feel the slow release in the chest, the steady softening in the belly. These sensations arrive naturally as the breath settles. You don't need to guide them, you only need to notice. The space feels calmer now. The breath feels slower. The mind feels quieter. even if just by a small degree. That small degree is enough. Let yourself rest in this gentle quiet. Let the breath move through you with ease. Nothing is asked of you here. Nothing is expected. Just this soft return to calm. As the breath softens further, the body sinks deeper. As the body sinks deeper, the mind drifts. You are held in this moment, wrapped in the warm rhythm of your breathing. Stay here, allowing the silence to deepen around you. Let the breath guide you gently inward, slowly, softly, into a quieter world where stillness comes naturally. Here, in this quiet moment, everything begins to slow. Nothing needs to be controlled. Nothing needs to be shaped into something else. The breath is already here, moving gently on its own. Take a moment to notice the simple rise of the inhale, cooler air brushing in, steady and soft. And then the smooth fall of the exhale, warm and easy as it leaves the body. A natural rhythm already unfolding. There is no need to deepen the breath or make it stronger. Just feel it as it is, arriving and leaving at its own pace. Notice the small expansion in the chest, the quiet release in the belly, the way the body shifts slightly with each cycle. If thoughts drift, let them drift. They don't need to be held or pushed away. They can simply pass through like a soft breeze moving across still air. The breath remains steady beneath them. Now, rest your attention on the coolness at the tip of the nose as you breathe in, a subtle sensation, light and gentle. Follow it only long enough to notice its shape. Then let the breath fall out again, warmer, softer, slower. Feel the inhale widen the ribs just a little. Feel the exhale soften them again. This quiet rise and fall creates a comforting rhythm, a slow gathering of the mind moving inward. Each breath brings a small sense of arrival, a gentle drawing together of scattered energy. The body begins to settle, as if returning to a familiar place of ease. Nothing forced, nothing pulled. Just a gradual softening. Imagine the breath flowing through you like a steady tide, in and out, cool and warm, always returning, always easing. Notice how the inhale creates a slight lift within the chest, a simple opening. Then the exhale releases that lift, allowing everything to sink a little deeper, a quiet release. As you continue breathing, the breath may become slower on its own. Let it move that way. Let it decide its own pace. The body responds naturally, loosening, unwinding. You might sense the shoulders drifting downward, even if only a little, the neck softening, the back resting more fully into where you are, all guided gently by the rhythm of your breathing. Stay close to that gentle coolness on the inhale. Stay close to the warmth on the exhale. These simple sensations keep you grounded in the present moment, soft, steady, and real. If tension appears, breathe near it, not to change it, but to offer it space. Sometimes that space is all it needs to soften. Sometimes it simply stays as it is, and that is perfectly fine. The breath continues, quiet and patient. It gathers the mind, bringing scattered thoughts together into a calmer place. Even if the mind still wanders, the breath remains steady, always here, always available. Feel the chest rise just enough to notice. Feel it settle just enough to feel safe. This is the rhythm that guides you inward, a rhythm that belongs to you, steady and warm. As the breath grows softer, so does the space within you. Thoughts slow, muscles loosen. Everything begins to feel a little more spacious, a little more clear. Sense the gentle warmth of the exhale spreading through the body, down the arms, across the stomach, into the legs. A quiet wave of ease. Each inhale brings a small sense of awakening. Each exhale brings a deeper sense of rest. Together, they create balance, slowing the world inside and outside. Allow the breath to be enough. Simple, quiet, unhurried. There is nothing else to do right now. Feel yourself arriving in the breath, fully and softly. Here, nothing pulls at you. Nothing demands your attention. The breath takes care of the rhythm. Stay with this gentle flow. Stay with the cool inhale, the warm exhale. Let the rise and fall guide your body toward deeper stillness. Let it gather the mind into one quiet space. Now the breath softens even more. It becomes lighter, quieter, easier. The body follows, slipping into a calm it remembers well. Settle here in this tender rhythm of in and out. Let the breath carry you inward, slowly, quietly, into deeper rest and ease. Softness begins to grow the moment you notice how your body rests. There's a gentle settling that happens all on its own, a quiet shift toward ease, a slow melting of whatever you've been holding. The breath moves in with a soft expansion, then it moves out, letting everything settle again. This simple rhythm invites the body to loosen in its own time. Nothing needs to be pushed or shaped. Feel how your body meets the surface beneath you, warm, supported, a single, quiet shape resting in stillness. With each inhale, the body widens just a little, not a stretch, just a soft, natural opening. With each exhale, the edges grow a little less defined, a gentle blur, as if the body is beginning to melt into its surroundings. Notice the weight in your arms. Notice how the legs grow heavier. The more the breath settles, the more the body softens. Everything begins to feel warm and slow. Now, breathe in gently, feeling the chest rise in a smooth, quiet motion. Feel the ribs expand by the smallest amount. Then let the exhale fall out on its own, easing the body into deeper rest. With every cycle, the tension fades further. The edges of the body soften the way evening light softens the shape of a room, a slow fading of sharp lines, a tender loosening, a sense that you are sinking deeper into comfort. Feel the breath spread through your chest like a warm ripple. Then let that warmth flow outward, into the shoulders, the arms, the hands. As the warmth spreads, space opens inside you. Space where tightness can soften and drift away. Now notice the gentle rise again, and the gentle fall. No effort, just movement, soft and natural. If you sense any tightness, breathe near it. Allow it to rest in the warmth of your attention. Tightness tends to loosen when it feels held without pressure. It softens the way snow softens when touched by the first warmth of morning. Your body is becoming heavier now, warmer, more at ease, almost as if it's settling into a soft imprint of itself. The boundaries begin to blur even more, shoulders spreading into the surface beneath them, hips widening with gravity, the whole body slowly melting, like wax warmed by a gentle flame. As you breathe in, Imagine the body expanding in all directions, a soft swell, a quiet opening, just enough to notice. As you breathe out, imagine that swell settling, edges softening, everything drifting just a little deeper into rest. The surface beneath you feels closer, warmer, safer. Let the breath move slowly now, smoother, lighter, as if it glides in and glides out. Feel the belly gently rise, then gently fall. The motion is subtle, but it carries your whole body into a deeper state of calm, a quiet rhythm that anchors you. Notice how the muscles unwind with every exhale. First, the muscles you notice, then the ones you didn't realize were holding on. Everything letting go, layer by layer. The body now feels less like a collection of separate parts and more like one warm shape, a single form resting in stillness, edges soft, contours relaxed, floating just a little above the surface, or sinking gently into it. Breathing becomes its own soothing motion, a wave that rises, a wave that settles, a slow tide moving through the body. Feel how each inhale creates a tiny lift within you, a soft widening. Then the exhale dissolves that lift, leaving you heavier, calmer, quieter, a sense of melting from the inside out. The warmth of your breath reaches the neck, then the collarbones, then the quiet space around the heart. Everything loosening, smoothing, easing. Here, in this softness, the body feels safe enough to let go, safe enough to release whatever it has carried, safe enough to sink into the simple comfort of rest. Allow the breath to slow even more. Allow the body to soften past its edges. Let yourself drift into a state where the distinction between you and the surface beneath you begins to fade. A slow merging with stillness. In this moment, the edges are no longer sharp. They are warm, quiet, barely there. Feel yourself resting as one soft shape, breathing, expanding, settling. The breath carries you deeper into this melting calm. Each inhalation opening space, each exhalation inviting release, a continuous flow toward ease. Stay here, wrapped in warmth and softness. Let the breath guide your body to loosen just a little more. Let the edges blur gently, slowly, until you feel yourself drifting into deeper quiet. Softness gathers around you as the breath settles into its gentle rhythm. The space feels quiet, warm, steady, a place where nothing rushes and nothing presses in. As you breathe in, imagine a faint glow rising with the breath. Not bright, just a soft, warm light that expands a little with each inhale. A calm presence moving upward through the body. When the breath releases, feel that glow soften and settle, as if it were resting with you, as if it were easing back into a quiet center deep inside, warm and unhurried. Each inhale brightens the glow by just a touch, a subtle warmth, like the comfort of a candle seen from far away. It expands gently, filling the chest, spreading through the ribs. Then the exhale carries it downward, smoothing and grounding you again. The light is not something you need to hold. It moves with your breath, steady and natural. It widens on its own. It settles on its own. Feel it spreading through your chest, soft and warm, then drifting into your shoulders, down your arms, into your hands. A quiet glow, flowing easily. In this moment, the light feels like a warm blanket around the heart. Not heavy, just enough to soften the space inside you, just enough to help everything loosen. Now breathe in slowly again. Notice how the light grows with the inhale, filling the space behind the ribs. Then the exhale smooths its edges, letting the glow settle like warm dust drifting down. A peaceful motion that repeats again and again. The more you breathe, the warmer the glow becomes. It wraps around the chest, moves along the collarbones, slides gently to the back of the neck. Everything touched by this warmth softens. You might sense the glow drifting lower now, the belly easing, the hips loosening, a softening that follows the steady flow of your breath. Each inhale lifts a quiet wave of light upward. Each exhale lets that wave fall back into stillness, a gentle rise and a gentle fall. There is no effort in this motion. You are not creating the light. You are simply noticing the way it moves with you. Warm, dim, calming. As the breath continues, the light spreads outward in all directions. It fills the space just around your body. Not far, just a soft halo of warmth, a glow that feels safe and steady. This glow rises with every breath. It opens the chest. It softens the face. The jaw loosens. The eyes rest more deeply. Then, as the exhale arrives, everything returns to a deeper quiet. The glow gathers itself inward. The body sinks slightly into its weight, and the mind follows, easing into the softness. You may start to feel a gentle lift within you. Not energy, not alertness, just a lightness, as if the glow were holding you a little, supporting you softly. A calm buoyancy. The warmth grows inside the arms, spreading toward the fingertips. It moves slowly, like warm air drifting through a still room. No urgency, only ease. The glow reaches the legs now, down the thighs, across the knees, into the calves and ankles. A slow wash of comfort. Every breath brightens it slightly. Every breath settles it again. A rhythm that soothes the whole body, inside and out. Quiet, steady, deepening. Feel how the glow makes the body feel softer at the edges. Less defined, more like a warm shape resting within warm air. A gentle blur where the body meets the space around it. As you breathe in, allow the glow to widen one more time. A slow, expanding warmth in the chest. A tender openness. A peaceful lift. And as you breathe out, feel it settling once again. Sinking, easing, gathering, until it rests in the quiet center of your body. The glow remains, even as it softens. It lingers like a warm memory, a steady presence that stays with each breath, comforting, dim, calm. The breath slows naturally in this warmth, each inhale smoother, each exhale longer. The glow follows, flowing in the same quiet rhythm. Now let the body rest in this gentle light. Let it wrap around you in a soft, warm embrace. Nothing to hold, nothing to direct, just warm ease moving with every breath. Stay here in this glow, letting it rise and fall as the breath rises and falls. Let it carry you inward, slowly, warmly, into quieter calm. The mind often carries the last traces of the day, even when the body has begun to let go. Thoughts move in and out, sometimes quickly, sometimes slowly. Here, there's no need to chase any of them, no need to solve or sort or follow. just a gentle settling into the quiet beneath them. Feel the breath beneath the thoughts first, a calm anchor, a steady rhythm that keeps you grounded, cooler as it rises in, warmer as it falls out, a soft flow that continues no matter what the mind is doing. As you breathe out, imagine a small bit of space opening around your thoughts. Nothing dramatic, just a little more room, a soft clearing, a sense of ease. Thoughts may still come. They often do, especially when things begin to slow. Here, they don't need to be stopped. They can drift as they wish. Picture each thought like a small cloud passing through a quiet sky. Some clouds linger, some disappear quickly. Each one dissolves a little more with every warm exhale. When a thought appears, imagine it softening at the edges. The center fades, then the shape thins out, and eventually it breaks apart into the air around you. Your breath helps this along, gently and naturally. Each inhale brings a little calm. Each exhale melts a little tension. The clouds continue to drift and dissolve. If a thought feels heavy or sticky, that's all right. Imagine placing it on the breath. Feel it rise slightly with the inhale, then feel it loosen with the exhale. A soft unwinding. The sky of the mind grows wider as the clouds disperse, more open, more spacious, a quiet space where nothing feels crowded. Notice the silence between thoughts, even if it's brief, even if it's small. Those spaces are gentle pockets of calm. The breath widens those spaces. In, cool and steady. Out, warm and soft. With each cycle, the mind releases a little more. Some thoughts may return. That's completely natural. Let them drift again, just as before. A soft cloud forming, then dissolving as the breath carries it away. Feel the tension in the forehead melting. Feel the space behind the eyes growing softer. The mind begins to ease, as if its edges are loosening too. A slow, unwinding thought by thought. Notice how the breath moves through the chest, how the ribs rise and fall. This steady movement gives the mind something gentle to follow, a rhythm that doesn't require thinking. Imagine the clouds thinning until they become faint mist, barely there, moving with the breath, disappearing on each slow exhale. With each breath, the sky becomes clearer, calmer, more open, a wide space of soft quiet. Allow your awareness to settle into that open space, not to fill it, but to rest lightly within it. The mind becomes lighter here. The thoughts move slower. Everything settles. Feel the warmth of the exhale smoothing the space around each remaining thought, softening it, dissolving it, letting it fade. You might sense a gentle drifting now, as if the mind is floating in warm, still air. Nothing pulling, nothing pushing, just quiet motion. The breath continues its soft rhythm, each inhale steady and smooth, each exhale long and calm. The mind rests in this gentle flow. Even if a thought returns, it moves more slowly now. Its edges blur more easily. It dissolves more quickly, and the quiet space widens again. Stay close to the breath as it melts the last bits of tension. Feel the exhale smoothing the mind like warm hands. Feel the inhale clearing a quiet path within you. Thoughts drift out of focus. They no longer hold shape. They no longer hold weight. They simply move on, softened by calm air. The mind becomes spacious, restful, gentle, a wide sky glowing with quiet softness. Let yourself rest in that spaciousness. Let thoughts drift as faint mist. Let the breath guide you deeper into ease. Stay here as the mind unwinds, bit by bit, thought by thought, drifting into deeper quiet. Warmth begins to gather in the body as the breath settles into a slower rhythm. A quiet heaviness follows, gentle at first, almost like a soft blanket laying itself over you. Nothing needs to be held up anymore. Nothing needs to be braced or carried. Feel the weight in your back resting more fully beneath you. The surface supports you completely. You don't have to meet it with any effort. Just soften into it, little by little. Each inhale lifts the body the smallest amount. A slow rise, light and calm. Then the exhale releases that lift, allowing everything to sink deeper. The sinking is where the ease begins to take over. Notice the heaviness in the arms. A warm, steady pull downward. It feels natural, familiar, safe, as if the arms are settling into a soft mold made just for them. Now sense the weight of the legs, heavier than a moment ago. Warmth gathering in the thighs, then sliding down toward the feet. A slow pooling, like warm water settling into quiet corners. The breath continues its slow rhythm, guiding the whole body downward. In, a gentle rise. Out, a deeper settling. With every cycle, the body loosens a little more. The shoulders grow heavier. The chest softens. The belly sinks with the exhale. Everything begins to feel anchored, yet softly floating at the same time. Warmth moves through the hips, spreading through the lower back. This warmth brings a sense of quiet surrender. No tension to hold, no muscles gripping. If any part of you still feels lifted or alert, imagine the breath flowing into that place. Feel it soften with the warmth of the exhale. Feel the weight ease downward, a gradual melting. The heaviness is gentle, not overwhelming. It's the kind of heaviness that feels comforting, like sinking into a soft bed. A slow release of all the tiny efforts the body carries throughout the day. Every breath deepens that release. The arms rest with more certainty now. The fingers loosen. The palms feel warm, as if warmth itself is settling into the spaces between each bone. In this moment, the weight of the body belongs exactly where it is, perfectly placed, perfectly supported. Nothing needs to shift. Feel the spine resting in a long, quiet line. The breath flows along it with ease. Warmth fills the spaces around it, a slow, mellow comfort. The thighs grow heavier still. The knees soften. The feet rest with their full weight, almost as if sinking gently into something warm and soft. Nothing lifts. Nothing tightens. Heaviness spreads through the chest again, but now it feels soothing, like a slow settling into deeper stillness. The breath rises softly and falls into warm weight again. Every exhale carries more of this, settling downward. Every inhale allows the warmth to spread. The body melts into the surface below, becoming one with its softness. Quiet, heavy, safe. The mind follows the body's lead, drifting into this deepening weight. Thoughts slow, tension unwinds. The quiet warmth around you becomes the quiet warmth within you. Now imagine the whole body as a warm, heavy shape resting in stillness. Edges blurred, contours softened, a single form drifting downward into ease. With each breath, the weight becomes more comforting, more familiar, more complete, a steady invitation into surrender. Notice the subtle heaviness behind the eyes, the soft weight across the forehead. These small sensations help the whole face relax, sinking into calm, a warm settling from the inside out. The chest rises one more time, gently, then falls, sending warmth through the entire body like a quiet wave. Nothing interrupts it. Nothing resists. The exhale grows longer now, smoother, almost melting its way out, leaving the body softer with each release. Feel the body resting fully in its own weight. No effort, no holding. Just a long, warm surrender into quiet ground. Stay here in this heaviness. Let the warmth continue to pool in every limb. Let the breath grow slower. Let the body melt a little more with each exhale. Remain in this gentle descent. Warm, heavy, drifting into deeper calm. The air around you feels warm and still, almost like a soft cocoon. The breath moves inside that warmth, smooth and steady. A gentle rhythm rises and falls, creating a quiet sense of motion beneath the skin. Nothing sharp, nothing sudden, just a slow flow of ease. As you breathe in, imagine a soft current moving through the chest. It travels outward, spreading into the ribs, the shoulders, the arms. A warm wave that lifts and widens without effort. Then, as the exhale arrives, that current drifts back inward. It settles like water finding its natural place. Feel how this motion repeats itself. In, a gentle rise. Out, a gentle fall. The body moves with it, light and fluid. The quiet tide rolling within you. The warmth from before is still present, but now it begins to move. It glides through the body in smooth, soft streams, down the spine, across the belly, along the hips, warm and unhurried. Each breath deepens this sense of flow, not by force, but by repetition. The same motion again and again, each cycle a little softer, a little smoother, a little more complete. Imagine the breath spreading under the skin like warm water. It flows around the muscles, across the joints, between the spaces where tension once lived. Everything it touches becomes smoother, looser, easier. In this moment, the body begins to feel lighter, even in its heaviness, as if it could float on this gentle current, as if it were being carried by something soft and steady. Warmth guiding each part into deeper rest. The breath moves again, a slow wave rising from the belly to the chest, then drifting back down in a long, warm release. The cycles blend into one another, creating an unbroken stream of ease. Any small pockets of tightness soften when the current passes through. They loosen without effort. They melt without attention. The flow takes them with it, smoothing everything in its path. Notice how the body begins to feel frictionless. Movements are subtle, almost invisible. Only the breath reveals the quiet motion within. A rise, a fall, a warm glide. This flow continues, calm and steady. It drifts down the arms, leaving them limp and restful. It moves into the hands, warming the palms, loosening the fingers. Everything feels quiet and fluid. Another wave rises in the chest, soft, smooth, unbroken. It carries warmth up toward the throat, then releases it down through the heart and belly. Every part of you rests inside this gentle motion. Nothing separate, nothing complex, just one warm shape floating in a slow-moving current. If the mind wanders, the flow brings it back, not with force, but with softness. The breath's quiet rhythm becomes the mind's rhythm too. Simple, steady, easeful. Feel the current slip through the legs now, down the thighs, across the knees, into the calves and ankles. Every part it passes becomes softer, warmer, more fluid. The whole body feels as if it's drifting in warm, calm water, supported from all sides, held without pressure, floating without effort. The breath moves again. A new wave rises. Then it settles. Every inhale widens the body's sense of space. Every exhale smooths it back into warmth. The flow is gentle, almost dreamlike. As this rhythm continues, notice how the heaviness from earlier begins to blend with this softness. Heaviness turns to ease. Warmth turns to quiet movement. You float deeper into stillness with every breath. The boundary between you and the air around you starts to blur. Everything feels warm and slow. The current moves through and around you. You drift with it, weightless and calm. Let the breath glide one more time through the body. A slow, clean sweep of warmth, a soft release as it settles again. Remain here in this quiet flow. The body light, the breath smooth, the mind gently drifting, all of you floating in ease. The flow around you has become very soft now, almost still. The warmth has settled into every part of the body, and what remains is a quiet sense of openness, a gentle spaciousness that asks for nothing. The breath moves slowly in this space, barely noticeable, just a light rise and a softer fall. A rhythm so gentle it feels like part of the silence itself. Imagine the air around you widening, not in a dramatic way, just a slow expansion, like night settling over a calm landscape. Everything grows quiet and spacious. Here, the body feels lighter, almost weightless, as if resting in a wide, open room with no edges. Nothing presses in, nothing pulls, only stillness. The sounds around you fade into the background. They drift farther away. They soften until they feel distant, like echoes in a far-off valley. You rest in the quiet that remains. Each breath creates a small wave of space inside you, a gentle opening on the inhale, a smooth settling on the exhale. The movement becomes softer with every cycle. Notice the space behind the eyes growing wide and quiet. Notice the forehead becoming smooth. The whole face loosens until it feels empty of effort. Easy, light, calm. Imagine yourself resting beneath a soft night sky, a sky without stars, without movement, just deep, velvety stillness. This quiet sky feels close, wrapping around you, holding you gently. Thoughts drift more slowly here. They move like faint wisps of air, barely forming before dissolving again into the spacious quiet. Nothing needs your attention. The breath continues its soft rhythm, longer on the way out, smoother on the way in, almost like a silent tide washing through you. The body melts into the space beneath it. Edges blur, contours soften. You become part of the stillness around you. Feel how sensation becomes subtle, almost like a soft hum rather than a clear feeling. Warmth blends with quiet. Weight blends with ease. Everything rests together. The silence grows fuller. It expands through the chest, flows down the arms, spreads through the legs, a warm, open stillness that fills every corner of you. In this moment, nothing moves quickly. The rise of the breath is slow and smooth, the fall even slower, each cycle creating more space than the last. You might sense the body floating slightly, as if the quiet is holding you up, as if gravity itself has softened. Only the breath keeps a gentle connection to the ground. The world inside you widens again, a soft unfolding, a deep spaciousness that feels safe and steady. You rest within it without effort. The mind becomes so quiet that even thoughts arrive gently. They drift in like soft shapes, then fade into the silence. They hold no weight, no direction, just brief forms in an open sky. This quiet feels endless, warm, comforting. A silence that holds you instead of leaving you alone. Let yourself rest deeply in this stillness. Let the breath be as slow as it wants. Let the body grow even lighter, as if floating just above the surface. Each inhale opens a small new space. Each exhale releases you further into silence. The transitions are smooth, barely noticeable, a continuous quiet flow. The edges of your awareness soften. The air around you feels like warm darkness. The body is almost forgotten. Only the sense of stillness remains. Stay here, drifting between wakefulness and sleep, held by the spacious silence, carried by the gentle breath. Remain in this quiet, resting, drifting, as silence deepens all around you. The quiet around you has grown very still now, soft, warm, almost weightless, as if the air itself is inviting you to drift deeper. The breath is slow here, barely a movement, just a faint rise and an even softer fall, a rhythm so gentle it feels like it could lull the body into sleep on its own. Each inhale arrives like a whisper, light and effortless. It slips into the body without asking for attention. Then the exhale follows, long and warm, dissolving into the quiet. The body rests easily in this softness, heavy yet floating, completely supported, completely at ease. Sensation becomes subtle, like the last glow of evening fading into night. The edges of the body soften, the hands grow warm, the feet drift into stillness. Notice how the breath begins to move without guidance. It takes its own shape, its own timing. You simply ride its quiet motion, drifting with each cycle. A faint inhale lifts the chest just a little, barely enough to feel. Then the exhale releases it, longer, slower, soothing the whole body with its warmth. There is nothing to do now but rest inside this drift. Nothing to hold, nothing to manage. The breath carries the entire weight of the moment. If a thought appears, it arrives softly, without force. It floats gently, then fades back into silence. The quiet absorbs it easily. Nothing lingers. Feel how the breath melts into the body, as if the inhale dissolves before it reaches the top, as if the exhale disappears into the air around you. A breath made of calm. Your body sinks a little deeper with every soft exhale. The shoulders loosen, the legs grow heavier. The chest settles into a slow, dreamy rhythm. Warmth spreads through the belly with each breath out. A gentle pooling, a slow settling, like warm water finding stillness. You may notice the space between breaths growing longer, not because you're trying, but because the body knows it can rest here. It knows this quiet is safe. The breath becomes a soft wave now, barely there motion, a gentle lift, a gentle fall, quiet enough to blur the line between breath and sleep. The mind drifts easily in this state. Thoughts lose their shape, words dissolve. Only the feeling of floating remains. The whole body feels farther away now, as if wrapped in warm darkness, as if sinking into a soft, endless bed of quiet. Breathing continues, smooth and subtle, light as a feather, soft as a warm breeze, steady in its own slow rhythm. Another inhale arrives, thin and calm. Then the exhale drifts out like a sigh you didn't need to take. It empties the body into deeper stillness. Here, even silence feels warm. It wraps around you. It holds you gently. It invites you inward, toward an easy, drifting rest. The space inside your chest expands quietly with each breath in. Barely noticeable, just a soft widening. Then the breath flows out again, settling everything back down. Sleep waits very close now. Just beyond the edges of the breath, just beneath the surface of this quiet. Allow the inhale to soften even more. Allow the exhale to lengthen, warm, smooth, dreamlike. The breath is moving you towards sleep in small, gentle steps. Each one slower, softer, easier than the last. The body melts further into the surface beneath it, warm at the core, cool around the edges, completely relaxed. Breathing feels like floating, resting, drifting in and out of awareness, held in a deep, gentle calm. Stay with the breath as it fades to a whisper. Stay with the warmth as it spreads. Stay with the softness as it deepens. Let yourself drift now, not all at once, just gradually, easily, into deep rest. The quiet around you feels deeper now, soft and heavy, like warm air settling after a long, gentle day. The breath moves through this softness in slow, easy waves, barely rising, barely falling, just enough to remind you that you are floating here, completely at ease. The body feels warm and loose, every muscle unbound, every edge softened. You are resting in a kind of stillness that asks for nothing at all. As the breath moves, imagine yourself drifting downward, not quickly, just a slow, effortless slide into deeper calm, like sinking into a soft bed of warmth that welcomes you without pressure. Each inhale creates a slight lift, a gentle buoyancy, and each exhale releases that lift, allowing the body to descend again, sinking a little more, settling a little deeper. Feel the weight of your body being carried by the surface beneath you, carried so completely that you don't need to hold any part of yourself up. You simply drift downward, guided by warmth and gravity, working together in perfect ease. The space around you grows quiet and wide, as if the world itself is exhaling with you, as if everything is softening at the same slow pace. You are part of that quiet now, floating inside it. Another long exhale brings a deeper release. The body loosens, the breath slows, Thoughts fade into the background like distant echoes. Only softness remains in focus. Imagine a warm current beneath you, gentle and slow. With each breath out, it pulls you just a little lower, not in a heavy way, in a soothing, welcomed way, as if you are being lowered into comfort you've been waiting for. The body grows heavier, but the heaviness feels peaceful. It feels like surrender, like handing yourself over to rest. Each inhale lifts you slightly, like a leaf rising on a quiet breeze. Each exhale sets you down again, lower than before, into deeper calm. The motion is subtle, but it carries you inward, downward, into quiet stillness. Warmth spreads through the chest. The ribs expand softly. Then the warmth sinks into the belly, loosening everything it touches. A slow melting from the inside out. You might sense the arms drifting downward with the breath, or the legs feeling more and more anchored. Every part of you is settling, guided by the slow current moving through your body. The breath grows quieter still, barely there, barely moving the body. Just a thin thread connecting you to the world above, while the rest of you sinks deeper into warmth. It becomes easy to imagine yourself floating downward through soft, dim space. The kind of space where time feels far away, where sound is distant, where the mind has no reason to hold on to anything. This descent is peaceful, slow, unhurried, like drifting down a warm and gentle slope with no effort at all. The breath moves again, and the body follows. A small rise, a longer fall. The fall carries you deeper, like a quiet slide into silence. Thoughts, if they arise, feel light and distant. They float above you, far from the quiet place you are sinking into. They have no weight here. They drift away as easily as they arrive. The deeper you sink, the softer everything becomes. Warmth blends with stillness. Stillness blends with ease. The whole body feels wrapped in heavy calm. Another long exhale melts the last bits of tension. Shoulders loose, jaw soft, neck warm and still. The whole body giving in to the descent. You're floating downward, but it feels like resting, like being carried, like the world below is soft enough to catch you without a sound. The air around you feels velvety now, thick with quiet, warm with comfort. You drift through it as if moving through a gentle dream. Each breath lowers you into deeper peace. The rise becomes softer. The fall becomes longer. The motion becomes nearly invisible. You rest in this place where nothing tugs at you. Nothing asks for attention. You drift between wakefulness and sleep, held by warmth and slow sinking ease. Feel yourself lowering one more time. A gentle descent into quiet. A soft slide into stillness. Everything in you surrendering to rest. Stay here, floating downward, warm, heavy, drifting into deep quiet. The breath is very soft now, quiet and warm. A steady presence that stays with you even as everything else grows dim. It moves at its own gentle pace, rising just enough, falling just enough, guiding you without asking for anything. Each inhale comes like a small lift, light and unhurried. Each exhale settles you deeper, smoothing the edges of your awareness. The body rests easily in this rhythm. The mind begins to drift in the soft space around the breath. You don't need to follow it closely anymore. You don't need to shape it or hold it. The breath continues whether you pay attention to it or not. It's a quiet companion, keeping its slow rhythm as you drift. Feel how it carries you, a gentle rise that lifts your whole body into softness, a warm release that sets you down in deeper calm. The motion repeats, smooth and steady. The breath becomes a pathway into rest, a slow glide inward, a warm descent into quiet. Every cycle brings you closer to sleep. Your thoughts begin to dissolve now. They soften into faint shapes that fade before they fully form. The breath remains steady and warm, holding the moment together with ease. It keeps you grounded, even as the mind drifts away. As you inhale, the chest rises in a thin, subtle motion, barely there. As you exhale, the body sinks again, heavy and surrendered. Each breath lowers you further into comfort. The warmth of the breath spreads slowly through the chest, then down the belly, then into the limbs, making them feel distant and light. Everything loosens in the warmth. You may notice the breath growing quieter still, almost transparent. It moves like a soft breeze passing through a warm room. You float with it, drifting deeper. Imagine the breath as a gentle current beneath you. It lifts you, then lowers you in smooth, rhythmic waves. You don't need to do anything. You're carried by the softness. Each inhale helps you drift toward the edge of sleep. Each exhale lets you slip a little further over that edge. A slow, dreamy slide into stillness. The mind feels far away now. Thoughts float through like tiny echoes that disappear before reaching you. All that remains is the warm, steady flow of breath. The breath moves again, a slight lift, a long release. And with it, the last bits of tension melt away. You begin to feel as if you're dissolving into the space around you, not vanishing, just blending with the quiet. The breath keeps its gentle rhythm, holding you in that soft space. The body becomes weightless, loose, floating, held entirely by warmth and stillness. As the breath slows even more, sleep comes closer. It approaches softly, like a warm shadow settling around you. You drift into it without effort. Now the inhale is thin, almost a whisper. The exhale drifts out longer than before. The breath is guiding you, carrying you toward complete rest. Feel yourself slipping into that rest, sliding into it, lower, deeper, warm, safe. The breath continues, steady and soft, a quiet companion that will keep moving even after your mind lets go, even after sleep begins to take hold. Stay with this gentle motion. Stay with the warmth. Stay with the softness that holds you. Let the breath carry you now, slowly, warmly, into deep, quiet sleep. The quiet around you is soft and deep now, warm, easy, as if the whole space is breathing with you in slow, gentle waves. There's nothing left to reach for, nothing left to follow. Only this calm place you've drifted into. The breath moves on its own, light and unhurried. A faint rise, a soft fall, barely enough to notice unless you rest your attention there. It carries you without effort. The body feels peaceful in its heaviness, settled, held. Warmth has gathered in every corner, softening even the smallest trace of tension. You are resting fully in this moment. Silence stretches out around you. Not empty silence, but a gentle, welcoming quiet, a quiet that wraps itself around your thoughts and softens their edges. Nothing feels urgent here, nothing feels sharp. Each breath brings a small wave of ease. It rolls through your chest, across your belly, down your limbs. Then it settles again, smoothing everything it touches. A rhythm so soft you could float along it into sleep. Thoughts drift in and out, faint and weightless. They appear like soft shapes, and then dissolve just as easily. You don't need to hold them. You don't need to let them go. They simply move on their own, absorbed by the quiet. The body knows exactly how to rest here. It sinks into the warmth beneath it. It loosens in places you're not even thinking about. It settles into a peaceful stillness that feels natural and slow. Notice how the air feels against your skin. Warm, gentle, unmoving. A soft cocoon that holds you without pressure. Everything inside that cocoon drifts into deeper calm. The breath becomes softer still. It fades into the background, a quiet companion that asks nothing of you. Its rhythm keeps you steady as the mind drifts further outward. You might feel yourself floating slightly, as if you're suspended in this warm quiet, as if gravity has softened its hold. The whole body feels distant in the most comforting way. Time moves slower here. Moments stretch out. Thoughts melt into softness. You drift between awareness and sleep, like a feather moving through warm air. Another gentle breath rises, then falls. It guides you deeper into this peace, deeper into this quiet. There is nothing left for the mind to do. It can rest, it can wander, it can fade. The quiet welcomes all of it. The warmth in your chest settles into a slow, steady glow. It spreads outward, smoothing every part of you. The arms feel far away, the legs heavy and warm, the whole body surrendered to stillness. You are resting in a soft field of quiet, a quiet that doesn't need to be held, a quiet that stays even when your awareness begins to drift toward sleep. If the breath grows even slower, that's perfectly natural. If the body becomes heavier, that's natural too. Everything is moving in the direction of rest. Everything is softening towards sleep. Thoughts become dreamlike now, half-formed, slow-moving. They drift through the mind like gentle shapes in warm mist. They come and go without meaning, without sound, without weight. The breath continues to guide you. Up a little, down a little. A steady, soothing motion that carries you into deeper calm. You rest within this movement. No effort, no expectation. Only the softness of each breath. Only the warmth of this quiet space. The mind drifts further. The body sinks deeper. You are floating on the edge of sleep, wrapped in warmth, wrapped in silence. Stay here as long as you need. Stay in this softness. Stay in this warm, drifting peace. Sleep can come now if it wishes, or you can rest quietly, letting the breath move you through the night. Everything is gentle. Everything is calm. The breath continues, slowly, warmly, carrying you deeper into quiet, carrying you into whatever peaceful rest awaits. Drift here, quietly, comfortably, into deep,